Hi there, and welcome to Freakin' Nature Reviews books. Today I have just finished reading a book by Frank Beddor called The Looking-Glass Wars. It was a suggestion from a friend because I've kind of been on an Alice in Wonderland binge lately. Alice in Wonderland is a very trippy thing. But I really enjoy it, and especially unique interpretations of it. So I've been looking around a lot for things to read that are different from the norm. And that's how I came across the Looking-Glass Wars. Let's just get right into it. My review will contain 3 sections: the bad, the good, and the conclusion. Firstly, the bad. Some of the bad things that I did not really like about the book was mostly the writing style. Frank Beddor has this habit of jumping from place to place in his writing. He doesn't stick with one section long enough to really get a lot of good description into it, and it's just difficult to really get into the world itself because of it. Secondly, the characterization. The characters, while unique and different, were not as deep as I would have liked. A lot of them had drive for certain things that I couldn't quite get behind because it wasn't described as well as I would have liked. And that leads into the last part that I was not too fond of, the description. He just didn't seem to take a lot of time to really describe what was going on, whether it was the world itself, or the actions, or the characters. The description was kind of minimal, and I can understand it's supposed to be a young adult book, so it's not on a literary level of excellence, but I really would have liked more because of the good in the story. The good, for me, mostly was the fact that it was so unique. It was a retelling of the Alice in Wonderland stories with a completely new perspective. The fact that it was real, and that Lewis Carroll just completely blew this little girl's dreams to smithereens by writing her story wrong. Just the way that he interpreted some of the things that were presented in Lewis Carroll's books was really unique and interesting, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. He was very imaginative. He seemed to like to create really interesting concepts for everything that went on in the story, which is part of why I would have really liked a lot more description, because it was so imaginative, and I would have really liked to understand his mind more while reading this. And it was captivating, despite the fact that I found a lot of the time that I was mildly annoyed with the fact that the writing jumped everywhere. It was something that kept me reading, and I couldn't stop. It was just that unique and that fun of a read, despite everything. So the conclusion is, Looking-Glass Wars is worth the read. I just wish he'd put a little bit more of an effort into making the characters more relatable, and to making the world more in-depth so that I could feel like I was actually in Wonderland. But who knows, there's more books to the series, and I will be looking forward to reading more. And that concludes this segment of Freakin' Nature Reviews books.